Hi, how's everyone doing today? This is Amy Hamilton, author of The Project Manager, Life is a Project. I am super excited to be here today, and today what we're going to be talking about is something you guys have asked about for a long time. This is PMI versus Prince2. Which certificate should you be getting? What's going to be most beneficial for you? First of all, I'd like to thank Saeed and the team for being out there. Really appreciate this opportunity to share with you guys every week, and happy to be here. So I'm going to get right into the meat of it. Everybody has heard of the Project Management Institute, hopefully in this community and this forum. And for the Project Management Institute, the oldest project management certification is the Project Management Professional Certification, the PMP. And to be honest, I am a PMP holder. I've had my PMP since 2007. But the other big one out there is Prince2, and Prince2 was created in the UK, and there's 3 different levels of certification as well as an Agile certification. And a lot of times when I've been out there talking to you guys, people have said, Amy, which certificate should I be getting? So today we're going to explore that a lot more in detail. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the 2 different organizations, PMI and Prince2, what kind of certificates they offer. And then I'm going to really get into what do you specifically want to do and which certificate is going to be right for you. So first of all, the Project Management Institute was founded in 1969. And it was founded by a group of practitioners who said, let's get together and create an organization where we can talk about, what's going well in project management, what's not going well in project management. And it was completely as a nonprofit in America. That's how we got started, and in 1983, the Ethics, Standards, and Accreditation Committee final report came out, and that was the basis for what became the PMBOK. The PMBOK did not actually come out, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, until 1996. And I think most people are aware that we just switched over. The PMBOK is now out in its 6th edition. And I am working right now so that we can do what are the changes from the PMBOK 5th edition to the 6th edition. So expect to see that soon. The PMBOK is based on 5 different process groups. I think most people know this. We've talked about it: the initiating group, the planning group, the executing group, monitoring, controlling, and the closing. And also there's different knowledge areas in the PMBOK. So when you're learning the PMBOK, this is kind of what you're following. And then there's the certification exams. So if you want the PMP, which is just sort of that standard project management exam, you have to have quite a bit of project management experience in order to get the exam. If you don't have that project management experience in your background, the option to do is to get the Certified Associate Project Management certificate, and that's the CAPM. And that's kind of that entry level. I'm just getting into project management, I'm just learning about it, but I want to show people out there when I'm applying to jobs and in the industry that this is something that I want to do. And in addition to that, the PMI has created a whole lot of what I'm calling specialty certificates. And these certificates are the portfolio manager, the program manager, the risk management professional, the scheduling professional, the business analysis professional. And then the newest one, and there's been some changes to the new 6th edition also taking this in, and that's the Agile Methodology. What does it mean when we're talking Agile? How does this impact you as project managers, and where is it really useful for? So kind of to sum it up, the 3 things that you need to go out and know about PMI: it is a standards-based certificate, it is a nonprofit community of interest, and it is the oldest project management certificate holder. Now we're going to go into the Prince2 a bit. So I cannot memorize this at all, but the Prince2 stands for the Projects in Controlled Environments. People hardly ever use that acronym. You don't need to memorize it, so they just go straight with the Prince2. And it was founded by the UK government, and the premise for founding it was that they were having a lot of overruns and issue in construction management. So it was originally designed for construction management. It was moved to a cabinet level office in the UK government in 2010, and then as recently as 2013, Exelos, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct or not, became a part of a joint venture with the UK government, and the UK government retained 51%, so they do have the controlling majority of that. So Prince2 has, instead of 5 processes, they have several, which is starting up a project, initiating a project, directing a project, controlling a project, managing product delivery, managing a stage boundary, and closing the project. In addition, they have 7 themes. which are the business case, the organization, the quality, the plans, the risk, the change, and the progress. So what do you get that's in Prince2 that's different? You get a methodology, which is very different. So when you're looking at, I see your question on Primavera. I did not include anything on Primavera in this presentation, but I can add it later on if you like. Primavera, I think, is probably more equivalent to software tools. So probably if you're looking at, should you go with Microsoft Project or should you go with Primavera, that's a really good topic, and we can add that to future conversations. So for the Prince2, though, it is a multi-level certificate. So the first thing you can do is just get your foundation, and you can look at the foundation probably being equivalent to the CAPM as you do in the PMI. Then you have your practitioner, which probably is the closest to the PMP, and then you have your professional. That's the hardest certificate to get. In addition, they added the Agile practitioner, and the Agile practitioner is also focused on that Agile methodology where you're including Scrum and Kanban. So what you need to get out of that for Prince2 is it's methodology based, it's a public-private partnership now, and it is building blocks of certificates. So each certificate builds on the previous certificate. Now what we're going to talk about is, I think, what most of you want to know, which is what certificate is the right certificate for you. And the answer is it all depends. So the question is what region in the world do you live in and where do you want to work? So if you're going to live in the UK, the best thing to do is go ahead and get your certificate in the Prince2, because the UK, that is the standard, is where it was created. If you are going to move to the United States, you should get your certificate in the PMP, because this is the standard that we use in the United States. Now for the rest of the world, it's really somewhat dependent. There's a lot of debate out there about what is the controlling certificate in which area. Most people say that in Australia that you need to get the Prince2. A lot of times when you're looking at the Middle East, you're going to be looking at the PMP. Some people say in the rest of Europe that you should be getting the Prince2, but I work with several people who have PMPs. So it kind of messes up a little bit. In addition, it also depends on the industry you're in. I've talked a lot in the past about the fact that I do IT project management. In IT project management, the PMP seems to be the stronger certificate across the industry, mostly around the world, and it seems to be very strong. On the other hand, if you're in construction management, the Prince2 appears to be the strongest certificate and where most industry is leaning. And if you're in software development, that's where this Agile methodology, the new methodologies are really coming out, where we need that Scrum development. So one of my suggestions to you is look at the market that you're targeting and start looking at the job ad announcements. And are they asking for Prince2, and are they asking for PMP? And then decide which one, and that's what you need to go with. So basically, what country or region do you want to live and work in? What is the industry preference? And also what I want you to explore a little bit beyond that is there a specialty certificate you should be looking at? You know, maybe you just want to become a scheduling master and all you want to do, and maybe that scheduling certificate would be right for you. Or if you're going strictly into software development, maybe all you need is that Agile certificate and that specialty cert. And I want to bring on one more thing, is what about getting both? So they're complementary. One is standards based, one is methodology based. One is very, very focused on use the project manager making decisions. The other uses a lot of templates that can be very, very useful. So one of the things that you could do is combine both certificates. So if you have the means and you have the time, think about it. What would it take for you to get your Prince2, even if it's a foundation, or get your CAPM as a foundation to complement the other certificate that you're getting? So it's something to consider. And I'm going to leave it up to you guys for some questions, but what I want to sum it up with is you have two different methodologies, or you have two different organizations, the PMI, which is standards based, Prince2, which is methodology based. Make sure you're looking at the region, make sure you're looking at the industry, if there's any specialties you need to consider, and then, hey, why limit yourself? Why not look at getting 2 certificates at any point? Because the more certificates you have, the more marketable you're going to be. And I want to conclude with one thought on that. Certificates are great. They are going to get your resume there. They're going to get you in the door to interview. On the other hand, what they're not going to do is get you a job. That's where you have to shine through. And I have confidence in each and every one of you. I'm going to take a look through the questions, and I will add Primavera versus Microsoft Project to one of our future sessions. And for Canada, it's generally considered to be the PMP is the most recognized, but like I said, I would definitely look into what specific kind of jobs are you looking at, target those job announcements, and that's going to tell you what you need to specialize in later on. I really appreciate everybody's time. I'll be putting out a post on this on my website, amy.shamilton.com, and don't forget, get your copy of the Project Manager Life is a Project, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys at the same time next week. Ciao!